Greetings to the people of the southern Cameroons. Greetings to my people of Ambazonia. Today is Thursday because it's also actually Thursday, my time right here. Today is Thursday, the 15th day of October 2025. And I'm delighted to be once more on the set. Like I said before, we are going to be having, a lot of impromptu shows, a lot of impromptu discussions on this channel. As we continue to monitor the situation in neighboring La République du Cameroon. And so I'm delighted that the people of the southern Cameroons have continued to largely stay clear of, the disorder that we are seeing across the Mungo. And I said it before, and I will reiterate, we have lost a lot of people over the years fighting, for change, fighting to get the conditions improved with the people who simply, sat by and watched us being decimated. And so this is their turn. We will watch them do whatever they are doing while we continue to reflect and, work very seriously towards ensuring, the freedom of our land, towards guarantee that we deliver to the next generation of Southern Cameroonians a free, independent, democratic, and very prosperous country. That is a sacred mission that we, decided to take up at this time. And so we have to work very hard towards it. That said, I like to share this thought. I think the people of La République du Cameroun are finally understanding what this means. That results happen over time, not overnight. Stay consistent, give your best effort, and keep believing in yourself. Much as this is actually a sound message to the people of the southern Cameroons, we have been fighting now for, I should say, we have been resisting now for at least 9 years and counting, but we have not grown tired. We have continued to hope, continue to believe in our ability to overcome the daunting challenges before us to get to, to the crown that we are focusing on. That's the freedom of our land. We have continued not to bother about the difficulties, the challenges, the mountains that are erected before us that sometimes may seem even unsurmountable. But I see that the people of La République du Cameroun too now have understood that after a lot of mockery, a lot of insults by nationals of other countries in Africa and across the world, they are seemingly ready to take their destiny into their hands. And the only message we can share with them is that, they should not think that there's a quick fix. Results happen over time, not overnight. So if they begin, let them stay consistent and take back their country from the dinosaurs who have held them hostage for a long time and who have continued to extend that kind of evil and unacceptable rule and system onto our land. My people of Amazonia, I got this a few days ago, I think 2 days ago, that the Gen Z in La République du Cameroun were planning a demonstration. They had not given a date just yet. So, and as you can see, they say le peuple a décidé. The people have decided. Manifestation nationale. That's a nationwide protest, of course. And so they say they were asking people to wait for the signal and to wait for the rendezvous. And they said the date was going to be announced. Much later. But about an hour or so ago, I got calls from some of those who say they are members of the organizing committee, that they are members of a very broad-based organizing committee for those mass demonstrations that they intend to take place in the Republic du Cameroon. And so they say they finally got to a date and that this will happen on the 22nd of October. That on the 22nd of October, they intend to fill the streets of the country in every large city. They hope people will come out. One of them speaking to me told me they are inspiring themselves, that are getting inspiration from what they saw happen in the southern Cameroons on the 22nd of September 2017. So they are hoping that they will really get a lot of people come out to the streets and, draw the attention of the sanguineous beer regime that they've had enough. And it is time for that system to respect the will of the people that have chosen someone else other than Paul Biya. They say they are tired hearing all kinds of insults and threats from Atanga Ponji and his likes, and they are determined to look at, to look at life differently. They want to, pay attention to what will give them the kind of change that they want. And so, this demonstration, they say they actually intend these demonstrations to happen before the day of the official proclamation of the results of the just passed presidential election, because to their understanding, Atanga Ponji, who has, taken Elekam hostage, is fabricating results with the likes of the Famandongos and the others, Vondoayolos and all of them. And so they know that the people are bent on definitely going to announce Paul Biya again as the winner. And so for that reason, they want to use the demonstrations of the 22nd of October to send a clear signal that it will not be business as usual this time, that they're not ready to accept. I want to take this opportunity first before I continue on this show to remind our people of the southern Cameroons that are still on the territory of La République du Cameroun. Please, you're not yet ready to go back home, no problem. But by all means, don't be part of those demonstrations. Like I said just a while ago, and I've said it on a lot of my outings, we have gone through a lot. We have lost a lot of people in the thousands. Nobody came to join us, to rescue us, or to show solidarity with us. This is their time. Let them take their own destiny into their hands, because we still have unfinished business. We should not go dying for causes that really are not directly, concerning to us. Let's focus on the things that concern us. But let's cheer them up. They didn't cheer us up, but we can cheer them up as they go out there to take their own destiny into their hands, to fight for their future. My people of Amazonia, we have to do everything to stay safe. We have to do everything to stay safe. We have to do everything to stay alive. This freedom we are fighting for, if it happens in our lifetime, let's be able to enjoy it. Let's be there so that when we do the head count, say nobody is missing. There are a lot of people who have already gone ahead, hoping, believing, convinced that we will take this thing all the way to the end. So let's economize our lives, our energy, and our resources to make sure we keep putting this in what matters to us most. The people of La République du Cameroun, there are many enough. There are many more millions than us. So they have the numbers required to do the thing that they want to do. To their credit, I want to share this with them. Above all, we must realize that no arsenal or no weapon in the arsenals of the world is so formidable as the will and moral courage of free men and women. It is a weapon our adversaries in today's world do not have. This is Ronald Reagan. Although he was absolutely talking here in, from a different perspective, looking at the global community. But you look at this from the perspective of a national community and realize that the moral courage and the will of free men and women, when they decide to take their destiny into their hands and to make sure that they shape their future, there is no arsenal, no weapon in the arsenals of the world that can overcome them. So if they decide to do it and go out in their numbers, as we saw happen in Senegal, they stand a fair chance of being able to make their imprint. But now, most importantly, on this particular slot, a soldier of La République du Cameroun has mustered the courage to come on the set, to come, put his face in a video, to talk to his colleagues, soldiers, and every other person in uniform in La République du Cameroun regarding these demonstrations that have been called for the 22nd of October all over La République du Cameroun. In fact, the conscience talk from this gentleman, he is in his uniform as he's speaking. The conscience talk from this gentleman, I think, is so moving. And it's a serious reminder to our brothers and sisters of Southern Cameroon's extraction, serving in the armed forces of La République du Cameroun. I had an exchange earlier today, or earlier yesterday, that was yesterday. I had an exchange yesterday, the 14th of October, with some high-ups. These ones were actually high-ups. I was talking to them. They were somewhere in Kusel. And they called because since I advertised my number for people to call into the program, they have been endorsed by what is going on this channel. So they reached out to me. There were 3 of them where they sat, and they actually said for me to be convinced who they were. They did a video call and they were talking to me. They said, nous avons décidé de prendre notre destin en main, that they have decided to take their destiny into their hands. They are indigents of the Grand North, indigents of the Grand North. And they told me, nous, on va envoyer un message fort à Tanga, Ponji, et aux gens de Yaoundé là. Ils said, nous, il faut le dire, nous ne sommes pas des imbéciles comme les anglophones là qui sont dans l'armée. That they send them. Qu'on les envoie aller tuer leurs frères, leurs soeurs, leurs mères, leurs pères. Et ils partent le faire pour le compte d'un vieillard comme Paul Biya. They said, dès que les gens là, les militaires là, qu'on a envoyés à Garoua, en très grand nombre là, dès qu'ils ouvrent le feu sur 1, 2, 3 de nos frères et sœurs nordistes là, ce sera une guerre interarmée. That's what they told me. That if that those, because you know, over 10 70-seater buses left Yaoundé for Garoua, loaded with gendarmes. I understand Ferdinand Gongo is dispatching another very serious contingent of B elements to go to Garoua because they want to declare total war on the north. And they're in search of Issa Chiroma Bakari. They don't have any idea where he is. He disappeared right before them on the day of the election after I finished voting and went to his house that was already surrounded and there were soldiers behind him everywhere, but he managed to disappear. You definitely should ask yourself, how did Issa Chiroma manage to disappear? How did he know all the information? How did he get all the intelligence of exactly what Atanga Ponji, Ferdinand Gongo, and the regime in Yaoundé was planning against him? How did he know? And who helped him to disappear? Now you understand. The sons and daughters of the northern regions who are in the military, who are in the intelligence services, who are everywhere, have been working round the clock to make sure they stand with theirs. Of course, they helped Issa Chiroma to disappear within moments, and the entire army that was in Garoua, the intelligence put the gendarmes, the policemen, they lost touch of what direction Issa Chiroma took. So right now, no one, they don't have any idea exactly where he is. That is what is putting Yaoundé in total confusion, and the panic level has reached its paroxysm. So these fellows told me, nous ne sommes pas les anglophones. And I remember you are talking to from the southern Cameroon. They say, on say. But unfortunately, they have to tell me to transmit the message, and they're telling other bloggers, you'll definitely be getting this from other sources. They said, once they open fire, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of their brothers and sisters in Garwa down, it will become a war between the soldiers of other parts of the country coming into Garwa and themselves, the sons and daughters of the Grand North who are in the military. They are not fools, they are not stupid like the Anglophones who are in the gendarmerie, who are in the BU and the whatever, that they send them to go kill their brothers and sisters. They participate and kill gleefully, kill their own people. They can't do that. They said they only might think that they will reenact that thing in the Grand North, that the Grand North is going to be the burial ground of any stupid soldier who comes there thinking that they want to do that kind of trash. My dear people of Amazonia, my fellow brothers and sisters of the southern Cameroons, well, nothing any of us can do. We have taken time, tried to conscientize our brothers and sisters to understand that all they needed to do, and you even heard Albert Ebene, the former director of the judiciary police in La République du Cameroun, who said triumphantly that he was so embarrassed and shocked at the attitude of the soldiers or the uniformed personnel from the southern Cameroons serving in the armed forces of La République du Cameroun, who gleefully go killing their own people. He didn't ask them to fight the other soldiers from La République du Cameroun. He said, but if they decided to put down their arms and say they were not going to have it until the government engaged dialogue to resolve the problem, things would have changed. But our people, like I said, they have caused all of us to start suffering from low self-esteem and start feeling that the citizens from La République du Cameroun are demigods, and then we are 3/4 of humans. And so our people are all fighting to kill their own people in order to get promotion. That's what they have been after. So this is something. When you listen to this soldier, I bet you share it to our own people, so they listen to what these people think about themselves. So without much ado, let's begin listening to this soldier. He's speaking in French, but I'll make sure that I translate snippets in English so you can understand. Let's go.
Second maître, État Augustin Assong, matricule M3S, pas 17151. Diplômé du centre d'instruction des élèves sous-officiers à Kotaba, deuxième promotion. Le peuple camerounais projette de descendre dans la rue le 22. Si ce peuple descend effectivement dans la rue, les autorités demanderont aux forces de maintien de l'ordre de venir en cas de la manifestation. Alors, je m'adresse à toi, policier, gendarme, militaire, qui se retrouvera en face du peuple. Je voudrais te dire, cher camarade, que ce peuple n'a rien contre toi. Ce peuple ne te demande rien. Ce peuple demande juste les comptes à ceux-là même qu'ils ont confié la gestion de la chose publique.
So you hear that? He says he's announcing the same demonstration I just talked about. You hear him say there that as a soldier, he has had the information that the people of La République du Cameroun are planning to get into the streets, into massive street demonstrations on the 22nd of October. And he says he's a bit conditional at this point. In case they actually get into the streets finally, that's in case they move from speeches, resolutions, planning, and defy the threats that will come from bullies like Atangaji and others. That's my little addition. And get into the streets, he says, definitely the authorities will make recourse to the forces. That they will call you to come into the streets and to, be there to face the people who will be on the streets. And he makes a clear statement. He says, I am telling you, these people don't have any problem against you, the security forces. They have no issue against you. They're not coming to demonstrate against you. They're not coming to fight you. But they're getting into the streets because they want to ask for accountability from those people to whom they have entrusted the management of the public good. That's what I'm saying. And then it's as simple. That is the kind of understanding that we see security operatives in the developed world have. When people come out to demonstrate, when they come, it's simply to accompany them, to accommodate them, to make sure that the people are peaceful and are simply conducting themselves in a way that is acceptable. But in the case of La République du Cameroun, in the case of Cameroon, generally, they don't send them out to just come and accompany people. They send them out with instructions to even shoot and kill. That's what they do. They send them out to shoot and kill. It's true that sometimes when they're operating within the confines of the territory of La République du Cameroun, they are not so trigger happy as when they are in the southern Cameroon. We saw what happened in Garwa already. Some of the uniformed men already lost their lives. They already destroyed property and all whatnot. But we did not hear about a single arrest or did not hear about anybody massacred. If that thing happened in the southern Cameroons, scorched earth policy would have been the first thing. They would already have burned down every home in the vicinity, looted, captured people for mass punishment, kidnapped them, and gone and started asking for ransoms. 1 million, 500,000, like it happened in Malende, or you give cocoa in exchange. And when they are doing that in our land, they are doing that mixed with our own sons and daughters, our own brothers and sisters, who are accompanying them, in burning down the houses of their own brethren, in looting the property of their own brethren, in capturing their own brethren, in kidnapping them, and be collecting huge sums from them. But you hear this? This is a soldier, rank and file, giving conscious talk to his brethren. Let's continue.
Chers camarades, je voudrais te dire que parmi les réclamations de ce peuple, toi-même, tu t'y retrouves. Oui, parce que tes droits sont confisqués par une petite clique de personnes, surtout des officiers supérieurs généraux. Oui, ce sont ceux-là qui t'oppriment. Ce sont ceux-là qui te frustrent. Ce sont ceux-là qui sont l'objet de ton malheur. Ce sont ceux-là qui ne te permettent pas de pouvoir avoir une famille digne, d'élever tes enfants dignement. Pourquoi? Parce qu'ils te méprisent. Parce qu'ils te traitent mal. La preuve. Une fois sorti du centre d'instruction, jeune soldat, soit soldat de 2e classe, on t'oblige à aller en location. On te chasse des camps militaires. Où trouveras-tu les moyens pour pouvoir louer une maison, soit à Yaoundé ou à Douala? Ce sont ces mêmes gens que pour que tu aies un alignement, ils te demandent 50%.
I don't want to let him go so far before I interrupt to explain so that you don't lose the trend of what he's saying. Because you see, he points out here, he's telling his colleagues, he's telling the uniformed men that these people who are coming into the streets, it is not you that they are coming after. The grievances that they are coming against, the issues that they are protesting, the better life that they are seeking, that better life is also for you. And then he reminds them that these people who are coming to the streets are not the ones that are making life difficult for you. They are not the ones that are making it impossible for you to grow properly within the ranks. They are not the ones that are making it difficult for you, especially the rank and file soldiers, police, or gendarmes, to have a good life And he reminds them that as soon as they graduate from the training schools, of course, what they do within a month or two, they chase them out of the camps, out of the training camps. They have to vacate the houses, the camp houses, the military houses that they are occupying. And so, with a very meager salary that you start with, they expect you to rent a house and be able to live a decent life. And he reminds that it is the same people, they're your superiors. Then when it is time for you to get now your first full salary and the arrears, they ask you to forfeit 50%. It is not these people who are coming to demonstrate on the streets. These people who are coming to demonstrate on the streets asking for a better life for everyone, including you. I don't know how else someone can be this pertinent. I don't know how else someone can really break it, put it so down to earth, so that these boys and girls in uniform grow to understand that their overzealousness against the civilians who are fighting for better conditions for them is simply an act of stupidity. An act of what? Stupidity. That's what he's saying. That's what he's taking his time to explain, to let them understand the importance of the actions that the civilian population want to take. Those peaceful demonstrations have as objective to guarantee a better life for everyone, including the men and women in uniform. Let's pursue.
Ce sont ces mêmes gens qu'ils t'envoient en mission pour 3 mois et t'abandonnent 2 ans. Ce sont ces mêmes gens qui détournent l'argent destiné à l'achat du matériel militaire. Et tu te retrouves face à l'ennemi sans matériel. Ce sont ces gens qui détournent l'argent destiné à la logistique. Quand tu es en zone de conflit, blessé, on n'arrive pas à t'évacuer. Combien de camarades ont perdu la vie devant nous parce qu'on ne pouvait pas les évacuer? Ou sont morts en cours de route? Pour eux, ta vie ne compte pas. D'ailleurs, un célèbre colonel nous avait dit que la vie du militaire camerounais est essentiellement liquidable. Ces gens, ce sont tes ennemis. Ce ne sont pas tes amis. Et tes
So here he makes clear. He's actually there making a litany. He's establishing a litany of the challenges that the soldiers themselves face in that country. That the men and women in uniform, be it gendarme, police, soldier, be JPing, JPEC, everything, that they all face. Especially those in the rank and file. Because don't forget, you look at the pyramid of the military, you realize that those in the rank and file are the great majority of the forces. And usually when they're sending people to the streets who go and torture people, who go and there, they send but those young ones who too often who even die without earning their salary. We all saw the picture of the 22-year-old who had been in for barely 4 months and was already at the war front, who died there in Fako County in the southern Cameroons. And people were like, how did he find himself there? Before people were brooding over that, yet another one came up. That also died in Bui County in the southern Cameroons. That one had not been in the military 6 months. So many of them go that way. And so he's reminding them that this is what your life is. And it says there's, a colonel in the military of La République du Cameroun that told them that the life of a Cameroonian soldier really doesn't count a lot. What matters is what they expect that soldier to sacrifice their life to render for the people who are living in their air-conditioned offices to enjoy. This is a fact. Why am I interested in this message? Because while it is a message that this gentleman, this soldier, is sending to his colleagues in La République du Cameroun, this message should make a lot of sense to the southern Cameroon's citizens who are serving in the armed forces of La République du Cameroun. This should be a message for you. And I'm sure when you listen to this, you should definitely feel ashamed of yourself for the role that you have played in burning down over 400 village communities in the southern Cameroons. along with the enemy, for the role that you have played in killing your own brothers and sisters, for the role that you have played in allowing yourself to be called to disguise, come in like a civilian, come back to the village where you hail from, and try to show them all the secret routes that lead to wherever people can run and go and hide, so they should be able to have access to go and kill them. This should reach, it should dig deep into your heart, deep into your conscience. It is time for you to sit down and ask yourself questions. How do they see me? Just hear what those soldiers from Kuseri told me today about you. See how they perceive you. If you go back and listen to Albert Ebene, the former director of judicial police in Cameroon, a citizen of La Republic, listen to how they look at you. So while you are with them, killing your brothers and sisters for them, thinking they see you as brave and patriotic, in their minds you are stupid. You're an idiot. That's what it is. When do we graduate from this? And so he makes clear, he reminds his fellow soldiers that the people who send you on mission, dangerous missions, and at the beginning he says it's for 3 months, and eventually abandon you there for 2 years without replacement, without redeployment, they are not those civilians coming into the streets. He says those people who will embezzle or mismanage money meant to acquire material, to acquire equipment for you to go and fight, and they end up finding themselves face to face with the enemy without adequate material to defend themselves or to fight back, are the people in those offices, not the people coming down on the streets to come and demonstrate to us for better conditions. And he says, the people coming into the streets are not those mismanaging money for logistics that makes it impossible for the wounded soldiers at the battlefront on the field to get adequate treatment or to be immediately evacuated to where they will have treatment. They are not them. They are those people in the offices. And he says that he can't fathom the number of times they have sat and seen colleagues suffer and die because they were not able to quickly evacuate them for medical treatment, or died on the way while they were taking them through rudimentary methods to places where they could get treatment. So he says, as simple or as this may sound, a lot of them have not taken consciousness of this, that they're only instruments in the hands of greedy politicians who are ready to turn them against the very citizens that they're supposed to protect. That's something you should bear in mind. Let's move on again a bit.
Quand ils ont besoin de toi. Une fois qu'ils ont fini avec toi, ils t'abandonnent. Que sont devenus nos anciens qui ont lutté, qui ont donné même de leur vie pour la récupération de la presqu'île de Bakassi? Pour ceux qui ont perdu leur vie, que sont devenus leurs enfants? Que sont devenus les femmes? Et pour ceux qui sont encore vivants, qui sont même déjà en train d'aller en retraite, qu'est-ce qu'on a fait pour eux? Pourtant, quand ils combattaient dans la presqu'île de Bakassi, leur prime, ce qu'ils nous ont dit, s'élevait à 30 000, mais on leur remettait 3 000. Oui, parce que ces détournements ont commencé depuis fort longtemps. Comme toi aujourd'hui, ta prime s'élève à 90 000, on te remet 30. Ces anciens avaient droit à 30 000, on leur remettait 3 000. Voilà ton ennemi. Tu sais comment on ne confond pas ta cible? Ce n'est pas le peuple qui est ton ennemi. Ton ennemi, c'est celui-là qui te demande 50% des soins. Pourtant, tu es blessé en zone de conflit. Oui, tu défends ta nation, tu es blessé et pour qu'on te soigne, on te demande 50%. Ton ennemi, c'est celui-là qui ne va jamais t'évacuer parce que tu es personnel non officier. Même si ton cas mérite une évacuation sanitaire. Ton ennemi, ce sont ces gens-là qui sont assis dans les bureaux et te demandent de l'argent, de monnayer un stage. Pourtant, tu en as droit. Ton ennemi, ce n'est pas le peuple qui sera dans la rue. Ton ennemi, c'est ces gens-là qui te donnent des ordres. Une fois que ça tourne mal, ils t'abandonnent. Ils se lavent les mains. Souviens-toi des événements du Nord. Souviens-toi d'un gars. Oui, quand ils ont la pression nationale et internationale, il leur faut le bouc émissaire. Ils ne cherchent pas loin. C'est le personnel non officier. C'est quartier maître, caporal, sergent. C'est comme ça. Ton ennemi, c'est celui-là qui ne te donne pas la prime de risque.
So, you see, he's still just pointing out to the soldiers the challenges that they themselves are facing as citizens. And so, if people are asking for change, if people are seeking change, this change is for everyone. It's not just for themselves, it is for people like you too, those men and women in uniform. I mean, I've not heard this kind of conscious talk to this kind of people in a long, long while. Because you see, he points out here that as soldiers, the politicians are interested in you when you are useful. Once they have finished using you to torture their enemies, to torture the people, to protect them while they carry out all their banditry, while they do all the horrible things, once once they finish using you, once you are no longer useful, they dump you. They dump you and forget about you. He's even talking about, the fact that especially non-commissioned officers are the ones that suffer the most. The rank and file, as I'm saying, because he's like he said that even those who went to the Bakassi Peninsula that were going to fight Nigeria, or those who have gone to multiple places, if your daily allowance, the feeding allowance, or the out of station allowance that they ought to give you, if it were 30,000, they gave you 3,000. Most recently, if it is 90,000, they give you 30,000, and you cannot talk. Who are you talking to? And he points out one other very interesting element. He says the real enemy are not the civilians who are seeking change. The real enemies are those in the offices, not only their superiors, even those civilians, those, those politicians who give instructions, who tell you go out there, shoot. If they try, finish them. Like Atanga Pond, you say, force revenir toujours à la loi. Je vais le mettre dans le moulinex. Ils vont trouver un serpent affamé. And he instructs you that if they get out there, grind them, teach them a lesson. But one thing he says, you will go out there, you will be brutal, you will teach them a serious lesson. But in some circumstances, the actions could be very egregious. And when they are very egregious, pressure starts coming in, both locally and internationally, both nationally and internationally. When the pressure becomes so hot, people start washing their hands quietly. And at the end of the day, there must be a sacrificial lamb. The sacrificial lamb will never be commissioned officer. Will never be the superiors in the army. What would they do? They will identify 1, 2, 3, or 4 of the rank and file who were actually on the field but sent by them and sacrifice you. Oh yes, it is your image that they saw. It is you that they captured on the ground carrying out that act. He named some instances, but I want to add to Ingabo. When things got so rough, when the pressure was unbearable on the Cameroon government, and they finally accepted that yes, their soldiers committed that act, you never heard them blame the general who was in Bamenda. You never heard them blame Lele Lafrique de Benchofo, who is the colonial governor. You never heard them blame the colonial senior divisional officer. No, they didn't blame any of those people. They do not blame any commissioned officer. They identify 4 or 5 either corporals, either sergeants, either warrant officers who were among them, and say these are the people who have identified those people. In some cases, they will catch them all and lock them and promise them we will free you after some time, we will make conditions better for you. But some of them go and eventually get abandoned and forgotten. If pressure mounts to say you must extradite those people or send them somewhere, you are sacrificed. You are sacrificed. but you are acting on instructions. Why should you obey instructions that you yourself see go contrary to what the description of your job really is? Because we are soldiers, and like he will tell you right ahead, no soldier has ever been decorated, given a medal for killing his or her own brothers and sisters. None. No soldier has ever been decorated for torturing his own brothers and sisters. When I still look at some of the pictures where they tortured our common law lawyers in Boya, and I see that our sister from Manu, who was there with the walkie-talkie, are feeling so important as she was kicking and directing that they should manhandle our lawyers with the utmost strength of all times. I wonder if she got a medal for that. But her picture, her image is everywhere. History will never forget it. What will her children say tomorrow or her grandchildren, when they are reading, see the history books? They say, my grandmother did this. She did this. Oh, it's you. It's not those who gave instructions. It's you were stupid. And this is the conscious talk the gentleman is talking about. Like I said, what particularly interested me in this outing is that fact that this gentleman is trying to conscientize those men and women in uniform who often go out there and carry out horrible exactions against the same people that are normally paid to protect. And they forget that their salaries are paid by the same people that they are crushing, and that these people are fighting for better conditions for everyone, including their own children. This is something to take serious note of. Let's continue. We'll soon be done.
Mais pourtant, lui, qui ne fait pas la guerre, a la pris de risque. Oui, c'est lui ton ennemi. Ton ennemi, c'est celui-là qui, en zone de conflit, pour ceux qui sont adjudants et adjudants-chefs, on leur donne le titre de chef de section quand ils sont au front. Et quand ils reviennent dans les casernements, ils ne sont pas chefs de section. Et ils ne reçoivent pas la prime. Oui, puisqu'ils vous demandent de faire le travail. Eux, ils sont dans les postes de commandement. Ils sont au Yahoo. C'est celui-là qui est ton ennemi. Celui qui n'a besoin de toi quand il est en situation. Une fois qu'il finit d'utiliser, il t'abandonne. Ton ennemi, c'est celui-là qui te donne une seule tenue, le 20 mai, et te demande de t'habiller H24 en tenue, sur toute l'année. Le reste, tu gères, tu achètes si tu veux. Ton ennemi, c'est celui-là qui confisque même la prime du défilé du 20 mai. Certains corps reçoivent, d'autres ne reçoivent pas. On te dit, la réclamation est permise qu'après exécution. Une fois que tu as exécuté, basta, on oublie. Quand vous voulez lever la tête, on coupe. Vous vous réunissez, on dit rébellion. C'est comme ça que l'armée camerounaise fonctionne. Chers camarades, ne confondons pas la cible. C'est comme ça. Combien de nos camarades ont été punis parce qu'ils ont osé demander ce qui leur revient de droit? Ils ont puni tout un bataillon. Parce que les éléments de ce bataillon ont osé demander leur prime de mission. Ils sont suspendus de toute mission. En fait, les missions payantes, les missions juteuses. Voilà ton ennemi. Chers camarades, quand ces gens finissent de t'utiliser, ils ne se souviennent plus de toi. Ah oui, ils ne se souviennent plus de toi. S'ils n'arrivent pas à se souvenir de ces grands bataillons qui ont fait du bon temps, qui ont pu défendre le territoire national, ce n'est pas toi qu'on va envoyer en face de ton frère, qu'on va récompenser demain. Parce que je n'ai jamais vu un soldat qui a été récompensé parce qu'il a tué son propre frère. On n'a jamais octroyé une médaille à un soldat parce qu'il a combattu contre son frère. Et même si jamais on t'octroyait une telle médaille, seras-tu fier de l'aborder? Je ne-
So you see, he's actually, like I said, he's outlining a litany of troubles, of challenges that they as soldiers or as uniformed people face every day. Things that will normally change in a country which is regulated, where people follow the law, where corruption is not, where corruption and mismanagement and embezzlement is not a national sport. No. Yeah. So all these things that he's raising are things that will normally be addressed in a society that is properly run, in a society that functions around solid institutions, in a society where norms are respected. Because, like I said earlier, he still talks about all the challenges they use you, they dump you, you go to the field, you come back, nobody cares about you. You who haven't going but inside, in the country to go and do things. If they can't respect people who have been sent to the war front, how much more would they bother about you who is sent to go and trash people on the streets? And it goes back to the fundamental question I asked: that how many times have you ever seen a soldier decorated, given a medal because you went out there and killed your own brothers and sisters on the streets? And he asked a very interesting question. Even if they were to give you such a medal because you went out to the streets and killed your own brothers and sisters, tortured your own brothers and sisters, the same people you are supposed to protect, will you be comfortable wearing that kind of medal? How will you feel wearing it? So you see, I just want to let him talk again because there's some very fundamental thing he's saying right in front before I cut him and we summarize on this show. Folks, I bet you a lot of things are going to be happening. But the import of me picking up this message is because I want our brothers and sisters of Southern Cameroon's extraction who are serving in the military of La République du Cameroun or in the armed forces of La République du Cameroun to begin learning a lesson from their colleagues, to begin hearing how they see them, to begin understanding at what level they put them, to realize that why they think that they are heroes in the eyes of their colleagues, they are nothing short of idiots. That's what it is. That's exactly what the gentleman is talking about. You see how he's coming out to conscientize his colleagues in the run-up to the time when civilians are planning to go onto the streets to make sure they get the powers that be to respect the will of the people. How many of them in the southern Cameroons will come out like that to conscientize their colleagues, to rather pay attention to the grievances, to the worries that the people are presenting, which are normal societal issues? We see them. When they come, they even decide not to speak English. When something is happening, you stumble on them, you decide to be speaking some dirty French, you hear them say two here and there and all of that. Because they don't want you to recognize that they are our brethren. Because in that kind of posture, who don't recognize that they are our brethren, they are free to exert all the wickedness imaginable on us. This is shameful, this is disgusting, and this is really despicable. I must say it with the last energy that I can manage. Because it's important. This is why we have these conversations. Let's hear him and round up.
pense pas. Ça sera une médaille de la honte. Chers camarades, ces gens sont des femmes politiciens. Oui, ils nous disent que l'armée est apolitique. Mais eux, le pyjama, c'est la tenue du RDPC. La preuve, quand il y a élection, ils nous baladent de poste, de bureau de vote en bureau de vote pour aller voter. Je te demande, chers camarades, de faire comme moi. En 2018, quand on m'a contraint de voter sans carte d'électeur, j'ai pas refusé. Je suis allé, j'ai voté contre. Une fois dans l'isoloir, c'est simple, j'ai voté contre. Je te demande, le 22, quand tu seras dans la rue, face au peuple, parce que tu ne peux pas refuser d'aller dans la rue, d'aller encadrer la manifestation. Sauf que, une fois dans la rue, laisse le peuple faire. Laisse le peuple faire son travail.
Did you hear that? That was the most important part of it. But he even said something interesting. And I think Atanga Ponji should hear this. He says they tell them that the army is apolitical. They tell you that when you are in the police, the army, gendarmerie, all of those things, you are apolitical. They should tell you, therefore, that you are not supposed to execute orders that are meant to protect one political position against the other. It's simple and as clear as that. But unfortunately, like he says, that despite all of this, during elections, oh yes, and this will be very familiar to especially our people in the southern Cameroons, they carry them soldiers from one police station to the other, wherever they are in good numbers, to go, and they cause them to vote even without voters' cards. They will, of course, ask them to vote multiple times, and they tell you who to vote for. So he says in 2018, while he was out on the field, and they carried them to go and vote, when he got inside the polling booth, he decided to vote his conscience because he was alone in there and nobody could come check him. But he tells you that they violate the regulation. That is what happened in all of southern Cameroon. When you hear Tanganji gets up in the morning, picks the phone, calls a Lakam official and say, how many people voted there? They say just about 4 or 5. He says put 600. And then they'll get the soldiers who are around there, they will come, vote multiple times, vote this, if they even vote. And then they stuff the whole nonsense, and then they suddenly tell you that in Batipo, where you hear that that there were perhaps not up to 50 people went out there to vote, that Pobia had 5,800 and something votes. That's what happens. We have seen images of those people stuffing ballots everywhere, in Widikum, in Tiko, in all over the place, shamelessly. But this soldier says, when they ask you to do that, be careful. But his conclusion here is what is even most interesting. He says, on that 22nd of October, they will send you out to go face the people who are coming out to demonstrate. And he tells them, because you cannot refuse, you cannot turn down the orders to go out to the streets there, you need to go there to canalize the people. But when you get to the streets, allow the people to demonstrate peacefully. So when you get there, what do? Simply make sure you accompany them to guarantee they are not breaking things, they are not being destructive and all whatnot, but allow them to express themselves. Allow them to pass the message. This is most important. There is one other very significant thing that he says just right ahead. I think it's in the 30-second lap. Let's get that and then we can let him go.
Oui, c'est de ça qu'il est question. Parce que ces gens, je te rappelle, quand tu vas commettre un acte, toi seul endosseras la responsabilité pénale. C'est bien inscrit dans le préambule du règlement de discipline générale. Oui, le subordonné qui obéit à un ordre est responsable, endosse la responsabilité pénale de cet ordre. C'est clair. Et souviens-toi que quand ces gens ont la pression internationale, ils cherchent toujours un bouc émissaire. Oui, le bouc émissaire. Et ils ne le trouvent pas loin. C'est nous. Ils ne vont jamais citer un officier supérieur. Non. C'est nous, leur moins cher. Et souviens-toi, cher camarade, que le peuple qui se retrouvera dans la rue le 22 ne sera à main nue. Mais ce peuple a une arme. Les téléphones portables. Ils immortalisent tout. Dis-toi, qui prendront des photos, seras-tu fier de voir ton image balader dans tout le monde entier, commettant des atrocités? Je ne pense pas. Que diras-tu à ton enfant? Et même si ce régime te protège, il ne sera pas éternel. Tu pourras répondre de tes actes tôt ou tard. Chers camarades, ne confonds pas ta cible.
So this is clear. We can end with him right there. He has dumped the most important part of the thing that I wanted him to dump right now. Because you see, he says this, that on that 22nd of October, when they have sent you, you will be on the streets with the people demonstrating. But don't forget, you have received orders that if they do this, shoot, kill, grind, maim, attack, you say, put them in the molinex, grind them. You say, if for attack upon, he says, and he says it so excitedly that Cameroon is the only country in the world where the road to every place is as slippery in the dry season. Oh yes, where places are slippery in the dry season. Just hear those kind of things coming out of the mouth of someone who calls himself Minister of the Interior. But like this soldier says, that, by the way, don't forget, it is written in their texts that whosoever obeys instructions, executes instructions that go contrary to what the norm should be, is criminally responsible. Oh, yes. So when you do them, you'll be criminally responsible because you know that what you are doing is against the norms, but you are doing it because you received instructions and it is written in their manual in black and white, as he's saying. I don't have their manual, I've not looked at it, but he's the one saying it. I will believe him because he's a soldier. He says you will be personally responsible. And then he reminds them that civilians today, the citizens today, when they go out to demonstrate, they have a very important weapon. That important weapon that they have, the cell phones. Oh yes, that they will have their cell phones. They will take videos, they will take pictures, they will immortalize everything that is happening. And so he asked them this rhetorical question: how will you feel like seeing your image, strolling all over social media, all over the world, showing you carry out exactions on your own people? How are you going to feel? And he says, these atrocities that you are committing, that will be captured and kept. Even if the regime, the government in place now protects you, yes, they may protect you, but they are not going to be there eternally. Someday they will not be there. And someday the law will catch up with you. One way or the other, you will pay for those acts. We have seen things happen after the Rwandan genocide. There are people who escaped. They were protected by the system that was there. And eventually when things got off, they escaped. Some changed names, changed everything about themselves, and ran away and stayed out for over 20 years. But somewhere along the line, they were still caught up. We all know the celebrated case of one that was caught in France just not long ago. The cover was still blown out and they were caught. Why? Because at that time even, we didn't have all of the gadgets that we have now. Today, the gadgets are just in abundance. Some are such that you will never be able to confiscate. You don't even know that they exist. People are running, they are just clipped to their bodies and they are recording everything that is happening around them. And so, you will be captured. Your image will be there. Like in the Southern Cameroon's genocide library, we have pictures, videos, a lot of them, with the faces and everything of a lot of those soldiers committing those atrocities. They won't be able to escape it. The government of La République du Cameroun, the murderous government, the genocidal government of Paul Biya is not going to be eternal. It will fall one way or the other. And the time will come, which is a time of reckoning, and you will pay. That's what this young soldier is reminding his compatriots ahead of time. This should be a message, a very sound message to our brethren of the Southern Cameroons. Know that nothing, absolutely nothing is eternal. You see, look at the people here. You see these people here, this is at the polling station in Kuseru. The people came out there to protect their vote. They saw horrible things going on and they moved in huge numbers. I didn't hear that anybody was shot there. I think the soldiers who were there understood this thing. Like I said, the soldiers are called from Kusiri. There were 3 of them. I think the oldest among them should be in the early 40s. Take a look at this. So this is not even at a polling station as I announced. This is at the Kuseri court, and this happened Tuesday. That is today. So this is not even Monday. It was not Monday or not Sunday when the election took place. This is 14. This Tuesday that happened in Kuseri at the court in Kuseri, where supporters of the FSNC stormed the office of the court president. They accused an Elekan municipal officer whose name was Mr. Makari, of transporting falsified polling reports that differed from those held by the party polling agents representing Issa Chiroma Bakari. So as you can see, the protesters denounced what they described as an open attempt to manipulate election results in favor of the CPDM. So, in response to the growing unrest, the courthouse decided to place under total blockade. The courthouse, I beg your pardon, was placed under total blockade by security forces, and the tension remained really high in Kuseri, with the people demanding the restoration of the real polling reports from the ballot boxes. And of course, I learned uh, that much later a decision was taken that those particular results from the polling precinct that the polling officer came from would simply be annulled, be rendered void. So you can see, folks, the people of La République du Cameroun seem to have come out of their shells. They seem to have been seriously enlivened now, and it would appear that they are finally deciding to get up and take their destiny into their hands. We'll be watching very closely, we'll be monitoring, and we'll continue to make sure that we hold serious conversations with our people who find themselves in those kind of localities. And of course, we continue to fine tune our strategy to guarantee that nothing spills over into our land as we continue to prepare to take our own destiny into our hands. Thank you very much for those of you who were, part of this broadcast. Thank you for paying careful attention. If you are not yet subscribed to this channel, go ahead and do so that you will never miss anything on this platform. And if you were watching me from the beginning, make sure you share the link and share as much as possible so we get as many people as possible to, partake in this knowledge. I will, in my next broadcast, talk about a press release that was signed and sent out today by one of the candidates for the presidential election in Cameroon, O.C. Joshua Nambangi, regarding the revelations that are made on this platform. I'll talk about that in my next outing. Thank you very much. Until then, have a wonderful time. To God be the glory. Thank you.